And find your comfortable position. It could be in any position of sitting or laying or standing even. Either let your eyes close or let the eyes lower. Take a few breaths just to arrive here. Maybe you adjust in your seat. Maybe you sigh out. Taking a moment to arrive here. And I think we'll shine some light and rebalance some energy within the body. This is where physical, emotional, nervous system, spiritual, every layer meets. These areas are consistent throughout the whole body, but it's almost like the hub of it. It's the wheel of it, the magnet. The charging point. Chakra. We'll start with the lowest parts of the body in the pelvic floor, the inner legs, inner ankles, and soles of the feet. An area associated with stability, inner stability, grounding, our connection down to the earth. And I like to think about the illumination of like being in a dark cave and lighting a match or something like that, where it just like suddenly a brilliant light and you can see. And you might have a different sense of awareness or noticing. Bringing the awareness and the light into the pelvis, the sacrum, low belly, this lower area. area can hold a lot of emotion. It can, it holds a lot. It's a big magnet. It also can have a sense of stability or instability. It can get rocked. It's a sense of creation. Hips, the pelvis. Reproductive organ. Pelvic bowl. We'll take the awareness, the light, noticing in the breath into the abdomen. Could be in this big area of the abdomen. This is a space where there's a strong sense of self, or maybe not. A space of empowerment, or maybe a space where we might lose our boundaries. Within the physical practice, when I think of using core, tightening the core, moving from the core, I'm thinking about on an energetic level, on an emotional level, life patterns. I think of kind of sealing myself up more, holding myself stronger, maybe solidifying boundaries. It's a very fiery area, lots of digestion, metabolism. Remembering that a lot of our serotonin is absorbed in the digestive tract. So maybe we can access a sense of uplift here. bringing us up to the beautiful, compassionate heart, ribs, lungs, chest, upper back, sides, through the inner arms into the palm. I like to envision the gold and silver filaments that go in with the Japanese pottery. I forget what that's called. That process of sealing and fixing pottery that has been broken and it is created into something more beautiful and splendid. I think of that energy within the heart. And sometimes I even just imagine like a gold line going around, and it doesn't have to be specific things. It could be just sort of like a automatic process, automatic sealing, sealing the little cracks, reinforcing. Picking it up into the tops of the shoulders, the outer sides of the shoulders and the arms, the hands, the throat, the neck. You can feel how you breathe. If you breathe in, go ahead, breathe through your mouth. Let it go through your mouth. Do that 2 more times, just feeling the sensation. You can swallow if you have any little saliva or anything to swallow there. Coming into your neck muscles on all sides. Maybe it feels good to tilt your head around. Just be gentle. Area in the jaw, the back of the head. This area of creative expression, expression of the heart, expression of that fire energy. You know, this area, there's a lot of energy that gets stuck here, a lot of tension, a lot of expression that is difficult, communication. There's so much work that could be done in that area. You think of it as a little by little, a softening. Bringing the awareness and the light into the eyes, into the ears, the third eye. You have a big band around the head, the temple, area where we are able to cultivate seeing with clarity on many levels, a bigger connection, a more broad connection. The big picture. And into the top of the head, where we connect upwards, above the top of the head. The energy of expansion of the whole picture. Often this could be a connection towards the heavens or to some sort of divine state. And I'm going to bring that energy down a little bit through the spine. Grounding back down into your feet. Maybe you wiggle your feet. If there's two of those areas or one that came up as the most interesting for whatever reason for you, you might take one or two hands to those areas. I would probably need many more hands because they all come up as interesting for me. And we'll just bring both hands to the heart. Honoring ourselves, showing up as we are today in this practice. And we'll easily let that go. Thank you so much for doing that. Rub your hands together. Doing this little face wash energy. We'll just take the hands softly over the face. If you touch your face or keep it off body, it's up to you. Or just like to do a very gentle touch. Over the eyebrows, around the eye. 2 more times. Each time I just let my eyes kind of be a little bit more open. Again. And one more time. This time we'll cup the hands over the eyes and blink into them before we wash. Go ahead. And run the hands down. Good. We'll just take the hands to the legs, rolling through cat-cow. If you enjoy that practice, if you find it grounding or healing or anything about it, I would say start with the lower chakras first. If you like to do that on your free time or in a before you go to sleep, or I do it if I feel out of balance, if I don't know what I'm feeling, if I have a lot going on, or if there is a strong emotion. It helps to kind of identify it and feel at least knowing where the things are. So start with your lower body because that is our grounding. And you can work up from there. You don't have to do every single one. I think it's useful. But if you know that there's one area, just kind of take a moment for each area. And I always recommend bringing that energy back down, bringing your awareness back down into the lower body. Take your arms, stretch them out and up. Reach. Exhale. Relax your arms down. Roll the shoulders. And reach your arms. We're just going to come to a big forward fold. I know we've been in this position for quite a while now. We'll just take a little forward fold here. And walk your hands back. We'll go ahead and change leg position if you like to. Rolling into your cat-cow. Good. Come up, roll the shoulders, stretch out and up. Interlace the fingers, draw the hands up, pressing the palms. Press the hands forward, round your back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, give yourself a hug across your body. I'm actively drawing the shoulder blades down and away from each other. Maybe move your head if it feels good, a little side to side, down through center. And easy, slide the arms down. Roll the shoulders, stretch up, and we'll do a forward fold again. Okay, come on up. Let's roll into our table and we'll flow some more. Tabletop, opening through your cat-cow, syncing up with your breath. Get your hips up to your down dog. Moving the hands forward a few inches. Come all the way forward. Take your half lift into your forward fold. We'll do that a few times. Half lifting into forward fold. I appreciate a wider stance a little bit, and I appreciate using a block for my half lift these days. Take your time rising up. Stretch your body up, stretch your arms, relax your arms to your sides. Stand in your mountain pose. Stretch up, forward fold. Halfway lift, step into your plank pose. Then we'll just easy lower down. Come to your cobra. Exhale back to your down dog. And if you do find interest in those energy centers in the chakra systems, in your practice, you can use that as a meditation point as well, kind of imagining those areas throughout your different poses, how they work together. Come all the way forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Come to mountain. Stretch up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, step back and lower through your chaturanga. If you feel warmed up, you might be doing your up dog. It's up to you. It's your practice, listening to your body. Take care of yourself. Come forward. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise up. Relax. Arms to the sides. Inhale up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plank through chaturanga. Cobra or your up dog. Back to down dog. Stretch your left leg back. Hold it. Step that foot forward, come up through your crescent lunge. Breathe. If you like a little movement in your crescent lunge, you might rise and sink a little bit. You might like moving the arms with it. Lower your hands, step back. Come back to your plank through your chaturanga into your cobra or your up dog. Pushing back to your down dog. Breathe. Stretch your right leg back. Hold it. Step your foot forward, rise up, crescent. Exhale your hands down, step back, come back through. Each time as it's new opportunity. Stretch the left leg back. Exhale to step it forward. Back foot, warrior one, rise. Take flight. Warrior three, airplane. Bring your foot down into your mountain pose. Stretch up. Forward fold. Halfway lift and take the right leg all the way back. Lengthen out. So we're gonna do a few, just without straightening the front leg. You might like blocks in your hands to create more room for the front leg. I'm just taking some lift in my hips. I'm keeping some bend in my front knee, so I'm not overextending it. And I'm just kind of lengthening and lifting, lengthen out a little, lifting, You might find yourself needing a little more space, moving your back foot back. You're not finding any full stretch. I'm just kind of like rocking between. Good. Go ahead and ease your back knee all the way down. Take your arms up. Lots of lifting upwards here through that back leg, more than dropping forwards. If it's okay, bring your hands together, interlacing the fingers, lift up and just ever so slightly over to the left, so away from your back leg. Not a huge side bend, just more of a side lift. Exhale, let that go, lengthen out your front leg, draw the toes up, walk your hands maybe forward, or you might walk them back. Kind of what's stable for you. If I need more support, I'll keep them closer. If it feels good to lengthen out more in my back, in my leg, I'll walk them forward. Good, bend into that knee. And we'll just take the back foot, lifting up the knee into stepping it back to warrior. Warrior one, rise up. Fly. And we'll be landing in mountain pose. Just breathe and land. Both arms up, stretch up, forward fold. We'll be taking both feet back into plank pose, coming through your chaturanga. Exhaling back into your down dog. Breathe. Lift up your right leg, hold it. Step it forward. Warrior one. Step forward, step forward and then fly it. Fly the left leg back. It's okay. There's many ways to come into that. Sometimes it's nice to have the stability of coming to a T. Sometimes it's interesting to have the challenge of lifting your weight. Either way of the mountain. Good. Inhale to take a big lift up. Exhale to forward fold. This time we half lift and the left leg's going to come back. Good. I'm using my blocks again. Finding a lot of length here and taking time to lift the hips. Lengthen the hips. Just moving through your breath. If you feel pulling at the back of your front knee, you might come out of that. Don't go so far. Think more about lifting the sits bones up than lengthening out the knee. Good. Go ahead and ease that back knee down. We'll take the arms up. Lots of upward lift. It's okay to hold on. You can even use your hands together or just hold on to your left wrist here, lifting up and a little bit to the right. Hands down, draw your front leg long, put your toes up, hips back. Right, bend into your knee. We're gonna take our back foot back to warrior one. And come up. Take flight. Land to mountain. Step out wide onto your back. We won't do a lot in our wide series today. Just want to give a little time for our wide stance. Lifting up and folding. Just taking some breaths here. If there's something you like to do, go for it. But I find just first, just settling in, settling your heart downward, settle that top of the head, that crown chakra. Giving space to the neck. Bend your knees and rise up. Open out and we're gonna hold warrior two. I'm opening to the left. Knee opens towards the pinky toe. So the outside of my leg is aligned with my outside of my foot. My pelvis might turn forward. My back knee is aligned with my back toes. So I might need to move my back toes. Or I might need to adjust a little bit more. If I adjust my pelvis more towards my back foot, my knee just rolled in. The front knee gets to dictate the position. Everything else unravels through time. Your option of your warrior two, arms outstretched, offering, maybe even like doing it as a bind with your hands engaged behind you, kind of a proud warrior. Keep smoothing your breath. Eyes are focused and find a little bit of softness in your outer eye. A little bit of softness in the sides, the corners of the lips. Lift through your front body. Engage through your back body. And lengthen out to your triangle. Bend into the knee. Take your time coming up and rotate into your reverse warrior. So it's quite a lot to come from all of this in triangle. I recommend bending the knee. Sometimes I use my hands. Definitely lifting through the lower side body and not through the top. Don't just like pull yourself up from the upper side to come all the way up and over. It's quite a big change in the torso and the pelvis. And we'll let that go. Go ahead, rotate your foot, wide forward fold. Again, I just want to give you the option to do what your body is calling for. If it's reaching side to side, if it's hanging, if it's twisting. I often will be in kind of like a rag doll in my upper body, like rocking my head, rocking my shoulder. And then my side body and my back gets inclined, wants to stretch, so then I'll stretch side to side a bit. Listening to yourself. Take your time coming back up. Good. You're so awesome. Open out to the right. And we're taking a little time in our warrior two. Over to the right. Take a little, I like to bend into this knee a little bit. My right hip tends to be the one that is a little iffy about holding weight. A little shakier. So I can give it a little more warmth by lifting and sinking, getting it ready. Drawing the knee open towards the pinky toe, setting up the rest of my body. Maybe I can draw the pelvis back just a little bit. Adjust, adjust. Lift up the spine. Open your heart. Expand. Breathe. Calming the nervous system. Starting with the top of the head. Relax your temples. Focus your eyes, but soften your eye. Smooth out your breath. Acknowledge if it gets shaky. Soften your jaw. Maybe soften the front of your neck. If your jaw is clenching up, actively open it. Just like let it be. And come out. Oh, into triangle. Shift the hips back. Give yourself that nice long stretch through the legs. Take your time setting up to reverse warrior. Bend my knee. Lift up through this lower side body, up and over. And we'll rotate one more time to our wide forward fold. Again, just taking a moment to do what feels good, what your body's calling out for. Bend the knees and rise up. So bring it together, shake it out. Just want to align in our tree pose. If you have another pose for standing that you just really want to do, go for it. I like tree pose to take outward energy and just kind of realign it, ground it down, let it expand. Finding that beautiful balance from our grounded energy and our lifting energy. Go ahead, I'm going to lift my left leg, open it out. Keeping the tailbone underneath me. Beautiful. Come on out, gentle. Change side. Make sure there's weight is not dropping out into the standing leg, so my hip isn't pushing out to the side. It's just aligned. Even more drawing upwards through the inner side of the leg into the hip joint, inside of the joint. This is where we have our strength and our support. And you can find that more by pushing into the big toe area of the foot, lifting the arch and activating the inseam of your leg inside. And we'll easy come out. All right, let's come on back to the front of the mat. We gotta settle in soon. So we'll come down into a tabletop. Just make your way down in your way. Taking the hips side to side. It's a little different order than I would normally, but I want to do child's pose before we do pigeon pose, because I want us all to have our child's pose in a seamless way. So go ahead and soften your heart down, soften your hips back. Your arms might extend forward. You might bring the palms together behind your neck in a devotional pose. You might like having them to the sides. I think that's called like embryo pose. While you're in your child's pose with any of the variations, take a deep breath and exhale into your heart. Just soften the heart down. Take more time to push back out of your child's pose. If you are inclined for a pigeon pose, you might be able to come into it from a tabletop, sliding the knee forward. You might want to lift your hips up a little bit to bring your knee forward. You might want to lay on your back or in your seat. Come out and change sides. Like pigeon has its own like timer or its own thermometer. I always think of like a thermometer that like pops when it's done, you know. Like I could rest in this pose for as long as I need to. And then when it's time, it's time. So you can always, after your practice, come back to it, resting the heart, resting the head, bringing your energy into your hips, that slow unravel through the hips. And just do it while your body is still warmed up. And we'll come out. Coming out in any way that feels right for you. We'll just take a moment in a butterfly seat and then lay it down. We'll just join together. Lifting the heart up and folding forward. I'm going to use this pose to release my neck, letting my head hang forward as long as it feels okay. And making sure that I'm not pulling on my neck, I'm just letting gravity create that stretch. We'll just make it a twist and then we'll recline. So go ahead and come up and twist to the right, my right hand behind me. Let the chin stay in instead of lifting it up, so that you can think about this line through the back and the side of the neck, getting some length. Rotate out to the other side. Good, and go ahead and come out. Let's just relax back. Hug your knees, massage your back. Stretch your legs up, move your ankle. Hug the knees again. Stretch your legs up. You can run your hands behind the legs. I like to make one line across with my toes. Hug the knees. Opening the knees like circles. So I'm drawing the knees towards my chest, towards my shoulders, opening away from each other, bringing them into a circle, away from me and back towards my chest. So taking these little circles. If your low back lifts up, you're probably taking your knees too far forward. Try to anchor your low back. Just kind of noticing where it's inclined to lift. Good. Hug the knees towards your shoulders. And we'll take the hands to the feet for our happy baby, drawing the knees further down. Bring the feet together, draw the knees open. And let's just settle the feet down. Come into a twist. And we'll just use this time to soften through the body, let go. Breathe in your back. Come out to the other side. And we'll come on out. Take your time with any last movements or poses. Letting yourself sink into your Shavasana when you're ready.